The audacity to dream of an empowering journey. Your journey begins today. That is what I want you who are sitting here who've ever been through anything to understand that from what I share today. We know that so many people go through violence. We know that so many people are impacted by violence. But what is great is that you don't have to stay in that place. You have the power to move past your past. Your journey begins today. And I hope that you will be able to understand that you have the power within. This is me at 4 months old. And my eyes seem to say that, first of all, I don't know who's standing in the room, but I'm not really feeling it. But I show this picture because it's the age of innocence. Untouched, unbothered, pure. And it also says that no one has experienced pain at that age. And it also says that we need to recognize that this is a stage in life where we also need to be turning our smiles and our laughs on our kids and on our children. But unfortunately, nowadays, pain comes, and it's how we deal with that pain that makes us stronger. At 4 years old, I had a bunny, and I really appreciated that bunny because it just made my life so complete. And it also had my grandmother, and they were my best friends, my go-tos. But within a year of me and Bunny being the best of friends, I would experience something so traumatic. I would eventually be molested by a man. Now, many of you know back in the day that so many people, if parents were late, then teachers would take you home and they would wait with you. But unfortunately, while I was at my teacher's house, she introduced me to a man, and he would be the one that would molest and touch me. When she came back into the room after being gone for a minute, he abruptly stopped. What I do remember from that experience is that I just did not feel right, and I didn't know what to do, and I don't remember much after that. At 14 years old, I had another experience. That was my third experience. What happened was that my cousin raped me. And at 14 years old, you don't know where to put all of this. But what you do, you begin to lash out, you begin to act out, and you don't know what to do with yourself. During that time period, I had dreams of being a dancer. I thought dancing was so freeing. I thought dancing would just change my world. But long after that, I stopped dreaming about dancing. At 16 years old, I was a junior in high school, and I began cheerleading. And I loved cheerleading. But the main thing I loved about cheerleading was that I thought it gave me acceptance. So during my junior year, I started to think about what I wanted to do for my career, what did I want to dream about then. I started dreaming about being a journalist because I wanted to share good news. I'd had so much bad news going on in my life that I really wanted to share good news. So that's what I did. I dreamed of becoming a journalist. But during that time period also, what happened was I started to feel even more pain because I was tired and I felt alone, that no one understood what I was going through. During my junior year, that was also my third experience. I was raped by my boyfriend. And it would impact me so much that I knew that no one understood, that no one cared. And so I had to move on. Shortly after that, I went to college. While I was in college, I met a young man who would impact my life forever. Now, I must say that when I got there, he was a football player, and no offense to any football players in the room, but I just did not like football players. But what I got from him was that he was sweet, gentle, and loving. He wasn't like most football players. So we became fast friends. We enjoyed talking to each other and spending time with each other. But after months of us dating, we came together, and I told him about what happened to me. And he was the first person to not judge me for anything, and I really appreciated that. So it gave me some hope to know that I could do something with my life. We met in 92 and we married in 1994, and that was a wonderful experience. Shortly after that, when we did marry, it came to a point where it got a little more challenging because I started to remember all the things that had happened to me. And those insecurities, all those things that I felt began to rush back to me, and it caused problems in our marriage. It even caused problems within me parenting because we had a child within our first year of marriage. Well, I'd start to get tired of how I was feeling. I started being tired of feeling weary, tired of looking down on myself. So I did an assessment. I looked deep into my heart. I looked deep into my mind. I said, well, where do you want to be? Where do you have desires to be? I said, well, one, I need to finish school. The other thing I needed to do was figure out my career, and the other was to figure out what I wanted to do with my family. So most of us want great and awesome families, and that's what I set my sights on. I wanted an awesome family. And so I said, I need to get some help. I went into therapy, and I sat down with my therapist, and we had great conversations, and he was able to help me to cope with what I'd been through. Also, during that time period, I lost my best friend, my grandmother. She was the one who just loved me unconditionally. So he helped me to cope with that as well. But what I did next was I went back to school. At 29 years old, I made the decision that I needed to return to school and get my education. But while I was there, I also made the decision that this is not just for me. This is for me to help the next person. This wasn't about my pain. This was about helping all those other people in the world who were experiencing something similar to what I was going through. So I went back and got my degree from Spelman College in Atlanta with a degree in sociology. And then I thought about human services and how many more people I could help. And I got my master's degree in human services. Then I said, well, we have a community full of hurting people. And I took the time to really think about what I needed to do next, and that was to start my own organization called Empowered to Heal. And our tagline is, healing is a journey that begins with you. And so for the past 3 years, we've been working to make sure that no one feels that they don't have any support. I wanted to be that support that I didn't feel like I had. And now I have a great and wonderful family, 3 happy children, 3 healthy, happy children, and we even have 2 wonderful dogs. So I'm excited about all that has happened. I persevered. I stayed the course. I did not give up. And I challenge you, don't ever give up on your dreams. Don't let anything that you've ever been through stop you from what you want to do. It is an exciting journey. Don't ever quit. And just remember, today, your journey begins with you. Thank you.